Warhammer 40k Darktide is finally here, well, on PC at least, and it is fantastic. Developer Fatshark has struck a balance between the melee-heavy focus of the Vermintide series and adding in more of a focus on shooting lots of different guns. It's a big, bold, hilarious, fun-as-hell romp throughout the galaxy as you slay endless hordes of humans, ratmen, zombies, and mutants alike. It is out now on Game Pass for PC and on Steam, with a Series X and S console port coming soon. There's a lot to break down here, so let's get right into it in the XboxEra review of Warhammer 40k Darktide. The game starts out with a short but meaty character creator. There are 4 classes to choose from. First was my favorite, the Zealot/Preacher. They are a maniac focused on melee with heavy-hitting ranged weaponry. Next you have the Veteran Sharpshooter, which is exactly what you think. Using a mix of kick-ass chainsaw swords and long-range guns, you will do your best work from afar. Next, we have the Psyker, who uses powerful magic and is the most glass cannony of the lot. Finally is the big boy Orgrin, rounding things out with this 10-foot-tall monster doing his best to smash all the punies into the dust. You'll choose your home planet, voice, appearance, and just why you are a prisoner that has been sentenced to death as well. The story of the game starts off with a prison break leading to you being freed and saving the life of an Imperial officer. That gets you back in the government's good graces, and you start working your way up the trust ladder. Every mission you complete, every challenge you finish, and every bounty you complete ups your trust level. At certain points, you'll then get the next bit of story as well as access to more and more of the game's many shops, mechanics, and your character's feats. More on those to come later. To access all this, you'll spend each mission in a small and gorgeously detailed hub world. The game is always online, and that kinda was a big issue in the early goings-on, as both the Windows Store and Steam versions of the game kept disconnecting on me. The first day it hit Game Pass, I simply couldn't connect to any servers in the Windows version. Thankfully, I had already been playing the game for weeks on Steam, and I was able to actually hop back in over there. Unfortunately though, these versions do not share progression or feature any type of crossplay between each other. The Windows Store Game Pass version, however, did pop up with the Play Anywhere prompt when I first opened it, which makes me hope that the cross-play save progression with the upcoming Xbox Series X and S versions will work right from the start. To finish off, the story isn't anything stellar, but the in-mission writing is hilarious. Your team of 4 will banter in a way that is both funny and endearing. It is in stark contrast to how serious the cutscene dialogue is, though. Unlike Fatshark's previous games, there is a much bigger emphasis on ranged attacks and guns in this game, and I love it. That satisfying melee combat is very much a thing, of course, and you'll be smashing heads and chopping off limbs with reckless abandon. One huge difference, though, is that your attacks no longer consume stamina. Stamina instead is used for blocking, pushing, and sprinting. It's a small but massive quality of life improvement, and the plentiful supply of ammo throughout each level means you'll have very little downtime when you can't use the best attack for each situation. All 4 classes also have their own special ability, which operates on a short cooldown timer, and a feats upgrade system that will last you through 30 trust levels before you've unlocked it all. Each feat selection offers you 3 choices, things such as every heavy attack kill grants a guaranteed 20 toughness versus every heavy swing that hits multiple enemies grants 20 toughness. Toughness is essentially your shield, and you'll need to use melee attacks and be near your teammates to replenish it. Once it's down, you start taking true health damage, which can only then be replenished through Medicae stations or Medicae item drops that are rare to find mid-mission. Inventory-wise, you have a ranged and melee weapon slot along with 3 items that allow you to further buff or customize your character. It's a simple system that lets you choose how you want to play and without feeling overwhelming at all. And you'll need all the power you can muster because Darktide throws a lot of enemies at you. To choose a mission, you can either go with the easy choice and let the game decide for you with matchmaking, or directly choose from a pool of constantly rotating ones. There are multiple types of missions like assassinations, strikes, repairs, and more that can take place on a large number of maps. Various world modifiers will be active at any time, and it always requires you to be online. I did not try to play fully solo, but bots are available and will take the place of any squad member who quits or is disconnected mid-session. Every mission had 4 players, and overall the community has been great to interact with during my time with the game. And Darktide is a gorgeous game thanks to both its solid tech and excellent art style. There is a bug at launch that seemingly forces ray tracing to be fully enabled, but on my modest 5800X and 6700 XT rig, I averaged between 70 and 120 FPS while running max settings. I was using AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution 2.0, which is a mouthful, to upscale a 1080p resolution to 1440p, but I honestly think it looked better than running it natively at 1440p. There was a distinct and heavy shimmer to everything without FSR turned on that was far less noticeable with it enabled. Character models look great, and the creation system allowed for a lot of variety in the player-made ones. The level design is phenomenal in both looks and how they play. The game rarely needs to use waypoints, as it just makes sense as to where you're going next, thanks to the clever use of lights and doors. Most of the time I could tell where I was going just by listening to what was happening around me thanks to the spatial audio in my headset. I used Dolby Atmos for Windows, and the game sounded incredible. Sound effects themselves are hard-hitting, with las guns and swords sounding deadly, while character screams make elite foes instantly recognizable over the din of everything else. My favorite part, though, is the music that kicks in during the deadliest parts of a mission. Bold, powerful, and heavy instrumentals fuel your fear and desire to kill your way through it. As stated previously, the in-mission voice acting is fantastic. The mixture of humor and those occasionally endearing moments of commiseration between the player characters helps carry what is otherwise an incredibly serious and dour affair. I did run into a lot of bugs, but they're all related to the game's always online nature. Error 4001 was my main nemesis, though it had a different and funnier name, Hot Tub Party, during the beta. Constant disconnects mid or post mission have been a thing since the moment I started up that pre-order beta, and they've only gotten worse as the many millions of Game Pass PC users have started playing the title. Hopefully, these issues are fixed soon, as it is hard to recommend the game even at $40 on Steam when so many can't actually play it past the prologue. Now that the game has launched, there are also a lot of very pricey cosmetic microtransactions which feel pretty rough to see outside of the free-to-play genre. In conclusion though, hilarious banter, ridiculous fights, a great mission structure, and satisfying progression show that Fatshark is only getting better. Being available day one on Game Pass for PC means no one, either alone or with friends, should pass on giving this one a go.